We're excited to continue the Skip Prosser Classic here with the second game here against Western Carolina. And I said this going into the weight game and after the weight game. This is to honor Skip. Obviously, Skip meant a lot to Xavier, and having the ability to bring his son Mark Prosser in, who he's doing a terrific job in year 2 here. I think they've already duplicated the amount of wins that they had in year 1. Is a great honor. So we're excited to be able to play. For me, with our group, I could care less about the wins and losses. I think sometimes things can get hidden in wins, and we have to change our mentality. I thought we got exposed against Wake Forest. Didn't think we had the right mentality. I got to figure out who we can trust on the floor, and I don't know who that is right now, just to be honest. And whether it was the unnecessary fouling. Whether it was the boneheaded shots that we took, not finishing around the rim. Our guys got to grow up. They got to mature. Mentality's got to change, or else we're going to stay stagnant as a team. And I feel like that's what we're doing right now. And like I said, that's got to change. I'm excited. Hopefully we can get an opportunity to show ourselves that we've gotten a little better over the last couple of days.
Do these guys sense that they're stagnant a little bit too, do you think?
I don't think so, Adam. I think young men and at their age, man, they see wins and losses and they think we're 9-2. I feel like we're 0-11, and I've been saying it, and I told the guys this. I said you could see it coming from a mile away, and you can't turn it on and off. Good teams don't do that. I mean, period. And we do that way too much, and I don't know why. And it starts with that mentality piece, I guess. I guess that would be the answer, but that has to be fixed, and it starts with our older guys.
You talk about, not knowing yet who you're able to trust, and, I'd imagine that a part of that is because, guys like Kiki, I think it got banged up again against Wake Forest. Can you kind of fill us in on what's going on with him?
Yeah, he his foot's he's kind of day to day. We got to watch obviously his load management. As far as with his foot, if that's, I guess it's a buzzword out there, load management or whatever it is. But we got to watch how much he does. He couldn't play in the second half against Wake Forest. His foot got real sore, and we're going to be really careful with that. But again, I think the trust factor isn't necessarily with the freshmen; it's with the older guys too, right? And again, it stems down, it bleeds down to the younger guys, and they have to. It's like I told Tyreke and Q, you're going to leave your legacy whether it's good or bad. You got 3.5 months, and that's it. Figure it out. And it can't be words. I'm tired of my bads. My bad doesn't cut it. It's show me. I need action. I need to see it with my own 2 eyes. That urgency, and right now, right, and again, we haven't had that, and I don't know why. We've had some good practices. But then in the games, I feel like sometimes guys try to become different and be different and act different, and it's unacceptable.
We always hear about Christmas break and how beneficial it can be for teams. Can you sort of elaborate on why this particular point in the season is so crucial? We're 2 games away from the Big East opener.
Yeah, I think number one, you're able to really lock in on basketball. Obviously our guys don't have academics right now. Which allows them to really focus on the basketball piece. So, like for example, yesterday we had, we got those guys up early, skill workouts, had a long practice as well, lifted, again, really, really lock in. I think this is a time where you can really grow as a team, individually as well. Hopefully so we can see, again, guys take a big jump forward. And we need to, obviously, with the Big East coming up.
You mentioned last night on the radio show that Daniel's knees have flared up again. Edmund in 2014-15, his knees flared up, and then he actually played, 6 games, and then Xavier applied for a medical hardship waiver. Is that something you would consider with Daniel?
I think it just depends where his knees go. Edmund's knee issues were a little bit different than Daniel's. But it all depends upon how his knees progress from here. I think we need him out there. I'd love to have another body up front. I think physically he's strong enough to do it, but obviously he's got to be healthy. So I don't want to say yes or no to that answer because I don't know. I can't really predict the future. Hopefully he gets better and he can get back out there.
who's his game more like? A Zach Fremantle who can step out and do some shooting, or
Yeah,
back to the basket like Tyreke?
I think he's a little bit more of a step-out guy. He likes to face up. He can shoot the ball, but he rebounds the ball well. And again, I think we need that on our team. Just have that physical presence up front, which you need in the Big East.
Then the net came out yesterday. Xavier ranked 71.
Yeah.
What did you make of that?
Yeah, number one, they screwed it up. How about all that? It's like first day you put it out there, it's like, wouldn't you think you'd have it right? To me, again, there's a lack of transparency. And, this is a big business, right? College basketball making the NCAA tournament. And for them not to give what the equation is to what they're doing, there's no rhyme or reason. So we looked at, I did a deep dive into it till about 4 a.m. And so you start looking at it, and it's like, so you got a team ranked number 20 or 21, whatever it is in the country. They don't have one Tier 1 win. They played one Tier 2 on a neutral and won. Then they played a bunch of Tier 4s. And then you're saying, okay, well, then it has to be something else. And you start looking into it, and it makes no sense. And they won't disclose anything. There needs to be transparency. I think that's very clear. Now, again, for our guys and for Xavier, for our team, again, we're going to have a lot of opportunities moving forward. We got a lot of big games. You can see on there all the Tier 1 games, opportunities that we have, and Tier 2s and stuff. So it's not going to really affect us moving forward. But, there needs to be transparency. And I don't know why they won't give that.
Well, it's weird because they put out the first list, but then your quadrant 1 or 2, victories were not even the right number.
Yeah, I know.
And then it was adjusted, and then your number didn't change.
Yeah, it's an absolute joke. I have no idea how to explain it, Shannon, other than there needs to be transparency, in my opinion, from the NCAA.
Last year, after you beat Creighton in the first round of the Big East tournament, you actually, I don't remember the exact numbers, but you went up or down.
Yeah.
And the team you beat head-to-head, mano-on-mano, gained 2 spots. I mean, how does that work? Nobody
knows, Andy. Your guess is as good as mine. And, again, you try to make sense of all the numbers and try to figure out patterns, within it. And it is we're numbers like Mario and Matthew Grace. We're big numbers guys. It makes literally 0 sense, what they're doing to me. And, again, and that's not to complain about where we're at. Again, we have plenty of opportunities moving forward to take care of all that. But just moving forward, they got to give us transparency of what the heck's going on. This is too big of a business. There's too many hirings and firings going on. It's $1 billion NCAA tournament or whatever it's worth. There's too much at stake.
Well, how do you plan correctly when you have the guys who have the expertise and whatever, when you don't know what you're planning for?
Yeah, I really don't know. And that's why that needs to be fixed. It's crazy. You start looking at it, and we've played some pretty good numbers, like even our strength of schedule compared to some. I'm trying to figure it all out, and it's just, honest God, it makes no sense. It's the one outlier when you look at all the Ken Pom and all that stuff. It's odd.
Yeah, I thought Ken Pom was weird. You were always devalued in that. Of course, I'm a little prejudiced, but you're 33 there.
Yeah.
You're 2 spots out of the AP, which I know is subjective, and you're 51 in RPI. Well, that's like a Six Sigma event to be, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, again, I have no idea. We need to ask those questions to the NCAA, obviously.
Hey, Gillen used to say, seniors either get better or get worse. They never stay the same. Does that apply? Does that make any sense?
Yeah, I think, Q and Tyreke, they got to step up for us. And, it's like we showed film to our guys, I'll give you an example. Like Tyreke, his first foul was just ridiculous. It was a dumb foul. And then, the second one was a bad call. It was a horrible call. But he should have never got a second foul because he should have never had his first, and then he can't become detached from our team. He's got to be our heart and soul. He's got to be our leader, regardless of what's going on for him. And Q's got to play better, and that starts on the defensive end. Listen, again, everybody's all over, and I hear all the moans and groans and centos, shooting and stuff. I could care less. I want defense, and I want to be disciplined. I want to play hard within our system. If he does that, the rest will take care of itself.
What about Western Carolina? Are they like 4 out, 1 in, space the floor? Do they get you ready for Creighton and Marquette and Villanova, teams like that?
They rely heavily on the 3. They got a tremendous guard, Mason Faulkner. He was an NKU for a couple years, transferred out. He's from the state of Kentucky. He's dynamic. He's had games over 30. He's had a triple-double this year. He could play anywhere. He could play anywhere. He's a very good player. Then they got the big fella who's Dotson inside, who was an all-conference guy last year as well. So, you know, he reminds me like SpongeBob. He's strong. He's as wide as he is tall. He's a lefty. He's a little bit like Stainbrook. Like, you know he's going right shoulder, but he's still going to get to that right shoulder. You know, he's a dang good player, almost averaged a double-double last year as a junior, and he's doing the same this year. So we'll have our hands full. I think Western Carolina's good. They had Florida State on the ropes. Probably should have beat Florida State at Florida State. They've won several close games, you know, so they're a team that's playing with great confidence. And like I said, Mark Prosser's doing a terrific job with that team.
They have another starter from Walnut Hills.
Yeah, Gibson, Cameron. He's a great kid, skilled. He's got good size at the guard position. And they got a kid from Upper Arlington as well. It's going to be coming back home. So you can bet that we're going to get their best shot. They've had 11 days to prepare for us. I think their last game was December 7th against UNC Asheville. So they'll be ready to roll.
Just one thought from me, Trent.
Yep.
You said at the very beginning that, and you're a numbers guy, understanding the resume you're trying to put together to make the NCAA tournament, you really don't care about wins and losses at this point?
I mean, for us, and Joe, and I really mean this, like I think sometimes people get so caught up in the wins and losses. It hides things. Like, I want our standard. And I want our guys to play hard. I want our guys to play together. I want our guys to play smart. They know our defensive system. They know it. So they have to do it, right? And they have to do it all the time. That effort has to be there. And again, if that's not there, then I think we're going to see us to continue to be up and down. And man, it's like I told her, I'm playing to win. I want to win. This bothers me. Like, it's eating me up. Like, I can't sleep. And I don't know. Sometimes, you know, they'll look at you sideways and say, well, man, he's crazy. He's a little off. And we're 9-2. You know, it's like, no, that's not good enough. In my opinion, we should be 11-0. In my opinion, we should be playing a heck of a lot better. You know, so again, it's not that early anymore. That's like, you know, like, hey, the first few weeks, I got you. We got to start seeing some progress. If we don't, then we're going to get passed up real quick.
You touched on it a little bit in the beginning, but just to be a part of this event for Skip, why does that mean so much to you? And do you preach that to your guys, why it's a big deal for Xavier?
Yeah, you know, Skip meant so much to so many people around here. You know, obviously he was a tremendous coach. You know, he left his legacy here, but the impact that he had on just people's lives in general, just from a personal standpoint, you know, and whether Skip would go to everybody's athletics events, you know, he'd go to at least one swim meet, he'd go to a soccer. I mean, he was so invested in this community and in Xavier. Did things the right way. You know, I never was able to work for him or anything like that. You know, he did recruit a couple of my guys when I was coaching high school in AAU. So I got to know him a little bit through that. And, you know, again, what everybody says about him to this day, I mean, nobody has anything negative to ever say about Skip. You know, and again, to be able to honor him and play in this game is awesome. And I told our guys, Skip unfortunately left this place too early, right? Left Earth too early. And so, you always got to operate like everything's your last opportunity. This is your last game. You never really know with life. And hopefully we can honor him in the right way tomorrow night.
You talked about it a little bit with Joe, but how long does it take for your guys? You said, look at you crazy sometimes when you're 9-2 and you want more. How long does it take for them to flip that switch?
I don't know. Film doesn't lie. It's like I tell those guys all the time, like, you may say, hey, well, he's wrong, or he's picking on me, or he's picking on our team. And I said, hey, listen, when I stop coaching you, that's when you should be worried, right? And the film never lies. I mean, again, we show film. It's a truth. I always say it's a moment of truth. No sensitivity. It's just we got to grow and we got to get better. Perfect. Thank you.